Hello, it's your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy. Welcome to another painting demonstration. This is a revision, and let's see. Oh, I don't even know the title of it. I'll figure out the title. Suffice to say, it was a decent looking little painting, and actually kind of a subject I've sold that looked very much like this. However, I had it in my brain, it's like, this seems very flat, like sure, we know we're in a, maybe edge of the wood and we're kind of looking at a tree and some light and stuff. And what I had in my mind was to punch a hole in it, and that's what I did. Um, I don't know if I'll be doing any more to this painting. I kind of like the quality it has now, so maybe. But I needed something to share with you, so this one was in my mind when I was in the studio the other day. And I was working on some live videos this last week. I got a really nice study after, well, I don't know if it's really nice, but it's going to be nice after Francis Murphy. And I just kind of ran out of steam because I'm on this like sort of cleanse or whatever right now. And every now and again I just get a bit faded and jaded. So, which is all good. It's all in the name of health. I'm feeling okay otherwise. But the several times in the afternoon I was like, ugh. And the painting I could do was pretty minimal. In fact, you'll hear me share a good chunk of video where I'm like, usually I've got good energy, and you see in the live videos, like, I'm not flagging. Also, I've been working on some figurative stuff, drawings mostly. I may share that on. I have a figure channel which I have, let go fallow, but I've got a little series of 12 figures I'm planning on doing, and I've pretty much decided to keep this channel the way it is because I don't need problems with, they're not like extremely, what's the word? Erotic, but they do have certainly a sexy tinge to them. So, because I'm not that interested in just doing academic style nudes, I like my nudes to have a little bit of sexuality, but keep it minimal. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel and you're looking for, you want to know what color I'm painting right now, things like that. You want to, well, go ahead and watch this. You're going to get some chunks of philosophy and stuff. And also, you just get to watch me paint. You could put some music on in the background. But if you're hungry for more information, you definitely want to tip on over to the live videos where I'll show the color mixing process and things like that. These shorter videos are more just kind of sharing what's happening in the studio and philosophical insights and what have you. And there's a lot of this kind of thing on the channel because this is just how I really like to roll with videos, although I enjoy the live thing too. I mean, I have seen some people do the semi-live thing where they will, say, do a 40-minute video with the session sped up a little or not at all, but they'll talk over the top, that kind of thing, or they'll edit out chunks, and that's not something I'm interested in doing. But I do not mind turning on the old video recorder and just recording the process. And the way to look at the live videos is like you were there, in my studio and live. And so you're getting the actual student experience there, I think. And you're always welcome to ask me questions either on the channel, or it's easy to get to my email. All you have to do is go to my website, Landscape Painter Co.nz, and if you have any questions or whatever, I'm always happy to help. And so there's that. So let's talk a little about this revision. So you could say, whoa, hey, punched a hole, and you have to admit that looks better just right there. It was not that easy. I feel like I'm struggling a little, but I was pretty happy with the idea in general of just punching a hole in the whole entire scene. And this week that I did this, it was not last week, it was the week before. I was on a roll, and I have quite a few of those revisions to share. However, quite a few of them I just had to work with extreme darks over the existing painting structure, And when I would try and put like foliage or whatever on top of this darks, everything was moving and slopping around. So I have quite a few that I had to let dry. And so they need to be quote unquote finished. And when I have to finish things, I need to be in the right framework, and that can be months. Sometimes you'll see a gap. And personally, I always date my paintings from that first initial color pass because to me, the painting succeeds or fails based on that, and not really on the finish. The finish can definitely improve things, and in some cases, maybe even save things. Not that frequently, though. The painting, if the painting is going to be good, it is what it is from that first color pass. So, just my 2 cents. You can see the second tree I did here. I think I backed off of that. Like you can see the 1, 2, 3 thing going, 1, 2, 3, 4 thing going. I ended up backing off of that. But keep in mind in this revision process here that I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't have any reference. It's all going strictly from imagination. Now I do have, actually do have a few bits of reference up on the screen behind me, but they weren't very helpful here because what I was doing was so radically different than what I'd had to start. And you talk about energy, and this is the kind of thing you definitely want to make sure you're kind of on. Although, to be perfectly frank with you, it doesn't really matter too much since the painting was in my revision box. Now this painting, like I said, it looked nice. It looked nice. I could have just... There's some revisions I did last week that were more like my typical revision process, which wasn't so extreme, where, say, I'm adding a glaze, I'm increasing contrast, but I'm not making major compositional changes. That's, I guess, what we term the light revision process. So this is actually going to be how to save a failed painting at number 2. That title pulled, a bunch of extra people into the channel that might have passed on it either way. And hopefully a few of you stuck around and you like my approach and get what I'm talking about. The color that mostly I'm doing 90% of this revision with is the black spinel from Gamblin. So to me, if I want to make big structural changes, I like to do them with a very dark color, like the black, and then I'll just paint over the top of that. Otherwise, I'm kind of just coming up with colors as I need to. I'm not doing any pre-mixing, and I really don't have much premeditation. I can say that if you have some old paintings of yours you want to revise, I think it's good to definitely don't select things that are too new, because sometimes they may not be that bad. You might find that you don't have to go through a whole revision thing with those. It's just a subtle change here or there might do. Speaking of, I guess that touches on something I'm working on with one of my... I have students who come to my studio, and if you're in New Zealand, drop on in. I'll give you a lesson, this particular student likes to really perfect things, and my challenge to them was to do a painting a week and leave it alone. And that would be my challenge to you as well. If you're one of these people that has this problem of, thinking that your tweaks, these infinite series of tweaks you're painting are actually improving it, really it's kind of a pretty good chunk of self-deception going on there. I hate to say it, but the fact of the matter is, just like I said here, when I redate a revision, I'm redating it with the date that I did all this work. Say maybe I come in later and make the white a little whiter, or the black a little blacker, or I add a few highlights to the foliage. That's not the kind of thing that's going to make your painting good. It will improve it, but the amount of improvement you're talking about is maybe 5%, 10%. That's not enough of an improvement to justify spending days or weeks tweaking your work. So my recommendation is, well, that's the other thing. We're only halfway through the video, so I'm going to hit on a few points. I've been reading a book by, well, it really is by George Inness. It's called, I flashed it in my last live video, and I know some of you don't have the time to get into those, but it's called George Inness, Writings and Reflections on Art and Philosophy. by Adrian Baxter Bell. By the way, I recommend, and maybe I'll try and remember, put a link in the description, but Adrian Baxter Bell has a great speech or lecture about Georgia Ness on YouTube. Hopefully she's still got it up there. It's, it's an academic level presentation, and she's brilliant. She's really good. And this book is excellent. Her essay at the beginning is very good, and this is a good book to get because Georgia Ness was maybe one of the greatest landscape painters that ever lived. And getting to one of the points that he made that I wanted to pass on to you, and I'm always saying this anyway, but kind of his way of putting things was a little different. Is like he says you want to be moving fairly quickly through your painting. You don't want to dilly-dally. You want to, but you don't need to be like some people draw and paint way too fast, and what they're doing has no control. So you want to have a certain amount of control, but you want to move through things in a timely manner, almost like you were building something. You put in the foundation, and then you put up the beams, and then you put up a roof, and then you put up the walls, and then you cover the walls, and then you paint the walls, etc. You have a process by which you are assembling a structure, which is what a painting is, and you want to move through that fairly quickly. If you look at my live videos, you can see, they're usually on the outside like 3 hours at most. And there probably is a lot of times where I might come in and spend another 2 or 3 hours on a painting. But not much more, because it isn't going to add up to better painting. What you really need to do, and some people could say, well, geez, why are you charging X for that amount of labor? Well, let me tell you why. Because you're going to do a lot of paintings that just won't be that good, and there's all the other things that go around paintings. So you can't, it's not like you can say, oh, well, a painting took him 5 hours, and so I'm going to pay him, 20 or 30 bucks an hour or something like that. It doesn't work that way, because you won't be able to produce enough paintings in a year to even conceive of having any kind of living. So just to get that out there. And also, if you're a painter, well, most collectors get this totally, but if you're a painter, you don't think like, oh, I've got to spend 50 hours on this painting, I'm going to make it really great. There are some styles, and generally I'd say if you're into a very highly detailed illustrative approach, go ahead and paint that way. Or the photorealists are also people that will have to put extensive amounts of hours in to get a certain effect. But to my eyes, if you're trying to do the sort of painting that I do, you need it to be fresh, you need it to have life in it, and that means you need to move through things in a expeditious manner. Don't overwork things. Get it done and move on, and let it be alive, let it be fresh. And you're going to need to do a lot more paintings this way, but that's okay, because some of them will be great right off the bat, and some of them will just be okay, and you might be able to take a crack at those a little later on and improve them. Or like the painting we're doing today, it was really just okay. It wasn't bad. It was in a box, didn't sell. I think it might have even been in a gallery show or something. Didn't sell. Let's try and do something different with it, and you can see here I'm sinking. This is actually sped up like 4 times, so I sunk an hour and a half into this or something like that. Excuse me, I'm broadcasting right now. That was my dog. He don't give a damn. We got tree guys out. In fact, I got the window closed. Hopefully, hey, shush. Anyway, we're getting kind of close to the end, so if you are a viewer of the channel, you want more technical information stuff. One thing I guess I would say, and not to get negative or anything here, but don't expect for everyone to hand you everything on a plate. You need to work, okay? If you want to learn painting, you need to get in there and work. And the best thing I could say to you is get some paints and start painting, and quit watching videos on YouTube. I mean, come on. How do you expect to be a good painter without doing lots of paintings? You need to do a lot of paintings. And yeah, watch some videos, and if you're going to watch videos, watch mine. And be sure you click like. I'll never forget. I'm always saying the same things. I said this on the video, and some guys like, "Well, you're really out of line." Da 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 da. I think you can get much better by watching videos. And I'm like, yes, of course you can. Otherwise, why would I bother sharing this information? But nowhere near, my friend, as good as you can get if you just did more paintings. That's how you get good. So don't be sitting there expecting people to hand you the golden egg. That's going to make you rich. You got some basic information. There's a palette list at the beginning. It doesn't matter what you do. Start with a yellow, a blue, a red of some type, some white, and some black. Mix your colors, make some paintings. You paint on cardboard, paint on paper, paint on canvas, paint on it whatever you want. Use medium, use your spit as medium. No, don't do that because that's water based. But you get what I'm saying? Just paint. Right? Anyway, I'll be back real soon with another video. I'd say sorry for lecturing you, but I'm not. If you made it this far in the video and you needed to hear it, then you done with the video, go do a painting, okay? Anyway, I'll be back real soon with another video. Meanwhile, please do me a favor, take good care and stay out of trouble.